Hey, hello everyone. Here we are again, Guitar Chat. We are here every Thursday, and this is our usual time, our usual moment of, talking about music, about guitars, about guitar players, musicians in general, and sometimes we also talk about life or whatever. I mean, the topic it's not really important as long as we are having a good time, and as long as you guys at the other side of the screen are having a good time as well. Because this is what it's all about, of course. And we are very thrilled, as always, very happy. Myself today, especially because today's guest is one of my all-time favorites, one of my heroes, and I'm very, very stoked, very, very happy, and very thrilled. I don't know. I'm having a fun moment here, but anyway, of course, as I always tell you, if you are not part of the family yet, it's right now is the right time to become part of the family, because there's always good things coming for you if you belong to the Vegatrem family. Of course, Guitar Chat is brought to you by Vegatrem, the best tremolo systems in the world for sure. And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do so right now, because that way you can enter our monthly giveaway. We give away one VT1 completely free. The only thing you have to do is you have to be subscribed, you have to hit like to our videos, and you have to leave a comment in this one or either one of them. No matter, it doesn't matter. As long as you leave a comment for us, you're gonna be eligible to enter on our giveaway. Besides that, during this interview, I'm gonna be saying a code. I'm not. It's not gonna be. It's not gonna be appearing on the screen or anything like that. You have to pay attention, because I'm gonna say it. Okay, I'm gonna say a discount code. With that discount code, you can go to our website and get a VT1 for a pretty cool discount, which is also a very, very nice thing, of course. And you can use it for, it doesn't matter how many bridges you want to buy. You can buy just one, or you can buy 10 or 20, whatever, and you can get that discount as well. So I think that's a great, great deal. So do that. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to talk about today's guest. This week on Guitar Chat, we have one of the best rock players in the scene right now. He was born in the UK and then raised in the United States. His guitar playing skill sets and knowledge base are being compared to legends from Jimi Hendrix and Eric Clapton to Eric Johnson and Eddie Van Halen. He's been touring extensively with Edgar Winter for many, many years, as well as guitar legend Rick Derringer, plus sharing stage and studio with a lot of renowned artists. He has honed aggressive chops, confident stage presence, and overall pro savvy through substantial road experience. So please, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Doug Rappoport. Welcome, Doug.
Hey,
Hey! Nice having you here, man. It's a pleasure, man. I'm
oh,
very, very, very happy to have you here, man.
pleasure's mine. I'm really happy to join you today. Thank you for inviting me.
Man, as I said, I'm very happy because I love your playing. I mean, ever since I discovered you like a few years ago already, I was like, man, this guy is the real deal. So badass, everything you play on the guitar sounds so natural, and so you make it look easy. I know it's not, but you make it look so easy, man. It's
Thank you.
very, very intense.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. It's very kind of you. And I'm really happy to be a part of your guys' team with your amazing product. So, I mean, I'm really stoked with what I got. It's really fantastic. So I'm stoked for you guys because it's doing well and
Uh-huh.
it's awesome. It's really terrific. I'm happy for you guys, man.
Thank you so much. Well, we're happy to have you on the family, of course. Well, let me ask you something, because when I was talking about you in the presentation, I said you were born in the UK. Is that right? Tell me about that.
Yeah, my parents are from South Africa. And
Okay.
my mother and father are, I don't know, third or fourth generation South Africans. And when my father, when they were married, my father was in medical school and he wanted to do what's called a residency, which is where you're done with actual school and you go and you actually work as a doctor, but as a student doctor. And
Okay.
we have some family in the UK. So my mom and dad moved there as a young couple for him to do his residency.
Okay.
And we just happened to be living there as South African citizens. I was born there. And then my brother was a year and a half later. And we lived there. Well, we just, instead of going back and forth between England and then back to South Africa, and then ultimately we just ended up moving to the United States when I was pretty young still.
Uh-huh.
So we ended up in Los Angeles, California. I was about 5 years old, and we've been there ever since. And that's what happened.
Nice. Awesome. So can I ask you your age? So you were born in the 80s, maybe?
No, I was born in the 70s, and that's all I'm going to say.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
But bless you for saying the 80s.
Okay. Well, yeah, man. That's awesome. Yeah, fair enough. We're not gonna say okay, 70s. You know what, man? 70s was a great, great decade for music, for rock and roll, and a great decade for guitar players because a guy like you was born on the 70s. So that's amazing. Let's leave it like that. Okay, so but what the point I wanted to get at asking you this is that probably if so you said you grew up in California and Los Angeles.
Yes.
So you lived the whole I'm sure you lived the whole hair metal explosion, you know, that kind of movement over there when you were a teenager, I guess, right?
No, not quite. I mean, by the time I finished high school, it was the early 90s, so it was already
Oh, okay. It was already coming down.
I mean, but I did come up on that music. I did, when I was growing up, I was listening to the hair metal guys. I really started with AC/DC, but I mean,
Uh-huh.
when I was a kid, learning guitar, it was, Van Halen and Rat. I was a huge Rat fan, still am.
Uh-huh.
And Ingve and all those hair guys, George Lynch, Jakey Lee, Nuno Bettencourt, all those guys.
Yeah.
So by the time I was old enough to like get into a band and play, it was already Alice in Chains and Green Day and all those guys were big. So I missed the whole Sunset Strip Hollywood hair band. So I missed
Yeah.
that. But that's what
Yeah.
I came up on. So
Uh-huh. Well, but you were so in your high school years, you were already into playing guitar, right? And so how old were you when you started playing guitar?
I think I was 10 or 11, 10, 11, somewhere in there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Wow, awesome. And why? I mean, did you one day you decided you wanted to maybe you wanted your parents to buy you a guitar or something like that? How did you get to that?
I love music. I love music early. I remember when we first moved to California, like I said, I was about 4 or 5 years old. 5 years old.
Uh-huh.
Um, my mother brought all her records over from England, and she was really hip to. She was hip to Queen and Jethro Tull, who they weren't quite that big in America yet, but in
Got it.
England they were huge. So she had all these Queen albums,
Uh-huh.
and I loved Queen so much. And she actually had to teach me how to use the record player. And we kept the record player in sort of a cabinet that was high up. And she put a stool there for me to stand on. And she showed me how to move the needle and how to put it on the record player. And I just spent endless hours
Man,
with
that's
Queen
awesome.
records. So I loved music early.
Uh-huh.
And I had a fascination with guitar. Guitar was this sort of mystical, magical thing to me.
Yeah.
And I just knew I was drawn to it, probably the same way you were. You're just sort of like, oh, a guitar, so it
Yes.
was that sort of thing. And it just felt natural for
Did
me to
you
gravitate to that.
so can you remember because I remember very well one of these moments, in which you decide it's like how I'm trying to find the word in English, but I can't find it right now. Uh, uh, man, how is it? Well, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna explain anyway. Explain anyway. So one of those moments when it's like a revelation. One of those for me was when I saw Jimi Hendrix playing in in the documentary about Woodstock, when he's playing Woodtile, with the white Strat, and he's wearing this white shirt as well, that for me was like, oh my God, I want to be this guy. So did you have something like that in your life when you were a kid, like a moment of like a revelation like that, almost a religious thing?
Wow, great question. I I remember as a kid, I loved Elvis. I thought Elvis was the greatest thing ever. So that wasn't necessarily because he played guitar. I just liked that he was so cool, you know.
Uh-huh.
Um, it was really a series of things. I grew up in a little town. Well, it's not a little town anymore, but it's a town called Santa Monica, California.
Okay.
And it was, when I grew up there, it was a little beach community. It wasn't this big. Now it's a very popular, very trendy place.
Yeah.
But when I was there, it was just a little beach town. And it was just surfers and beach bums, and that was it. And we had a local music store, and I used to skateboard or ride my bike, and I'd stop in the window and I'd look inside and see the electric guitars hanging there, and I just like this, looking in the window.
Nice.
And that sort of having this fantasy, this sort of mystical fantasy about this electric guitar. And at the time I was discovering AC/DC. And I was air guitaring on a tennis racket all the time. And all I knew was the guitar solo to Hell's Bells had the most profound effect on me. It made me choke up. It made my eyes water. It filled me full of something I can't describe. And I just remember standing in front of the mirror with my tennis racket and going, I'm going to do the real thing.
That's right.
You know, screw the tennis racket.
Yeah.
And that was it. That was sort of my moment. I remember standing in front of the mirror with the tennis racket going, what am I doing?
Yeah. Let me grab the real thing, right?
Yeah, that was it. And I decided right then, listening to Hell's Bells, the solo, that I was going to do that. So that was it.
Of course, man. I mean, because there's something about Angus, right? He's just magical, man. I mean, that I love his vibrato. I don't know if you agree with me, but that vibrato is like, I mean, it's out of this world, man. It's like you can try to imitate that, but it's not gonna be there. You know?
He's an absolute monster guitar player. He is a monster guitar player.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. I totally agree. Well, I've got another question because I just heard you that you said when you were a kid you were skateboarding, right? So did you quit because of the guitar? Because I was a skateboarding. I would do some. I mean, I was very bad. You know, I sucked. You know, I never knew how to do the tricks. But I was very into skateboarding. But when I started playing guitar seriously, I quit because I was afraid I was gonna have an injury or anything like that. Did you ever quit because of that or not?
No, I didn't quit skateboarding, but I'll say I wasn't a very good skateboarder.
Okay, got it.
You know, like I said, in Santa Monica where I grew up, it was really embedded. I mean, skateboarding was basically invented in Santa Monica. Actually.
Yeah,
invented in Santa Monica, so it was very much a part of the culture.
Okay.
That I grew up in. It was, surfing and skateboards. So, I spent my summers surfing. I lived 5-minute walk from the beach. So I surfed and I played guitar and I skateboarded. So I didn't really quit.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
I was never good, but I didn't quit.
Well, let me tell you this, and maybe I'm shifting the conversation to skateboard, but this is pretty funny, man. This is, well, I was doing, I think it was a Sunday morning, I was skateboarding with my friends in my hometown, and I saw my guitar teacher, he was coming towards me, and in that very same moment, I fell, I fell down, and he was like, "What's going on, man?" And I was so embarrassed, and I think that was the time when I said, "You know what, I'm gonna quit because I'm gonna injure my wrist or something like that, and then my guitar teacher's gonna be mad at me, or so." But it was pretty embarrassing, man.
That's true. I mean, it's true. You don't think about that when you're a kid. I mean, I didn't think for 1 minute I could break my arm or
Yeah, but that can happen, and that for a guitar player, it's a big deal, of course, you know.
anything.
Well, okay, let's leave the skateboard, man. I just, it was funny because I loved it when I was a kid as well. So, um, when you right after when you started, because what I hear in your playing, for me, seems like it's very natural for you. So I was wondering if you noticed when you were starting to play that you were very good at it. I mean, did you notice that maybe it was for you it would take less effort than for other people, or not, or did you have to really work hard to get your chops and everything?
That's a great question. It did come easy to me. I did pick it up very quickly. It felt very natural to me. I was that kid that if I wasn't good at something right away, I quit. So, that's just how I was as a kid. And
Okay.
I just knew with guitar, I was drawn to it. I knew it was right for me. I got it really, really quickly. I don't want to say I didn't put in a lot of hard work, but I didn't really work. And I remember as a kid, I read an article with Yngwie Malmsteen, and they asked him about his practice. And Yngwie's famous for being, or infamous, I should say, for being arrogant. And he would say, "I never practiced a day in my life." And the outrage, "Oh, how can he say that? That's nonsense. He's lying," And it's like, I kind of get that in a way because I never really practiced. I just played all the time.
Got it.
So, you know what I mean? It's like I'd come home from school, I'd skateboard with my friends, and then I'd come in and play guitar. And then
Yeah.
my mom would say dinner. And so then I'd go have dinner. Then I'd go back in my room and play guitar. And then my mom would come and go bedtime. And I'd go to bed and I'd wait until they went to bed. Then I'd get up and play guitar while they were sleeping. Right. And then I'd go to
Wow.
sleep over and over again. So I played all the time. So I did put in the hours. I put in a tremendous amount of hours. But it
Yeah.
wasn't like, very studious. I'm not a studious guy. I didn't study or anything. I just
So you've never had like a plan, like a study plan, something like that, like a schedule. Now I have to play alternate picking. Now I have to play chords. Now nothing like that. You just played and had fun with it, right?
yeah, I played. And it's funny, as a teacher, I get a lot of questions about how to play faster.
Yeah.
And the only way I ever learned to play fast was I just played fast all the time.
That's awesome.
I mean, it didn't sound good or it didn't anything, but I can remember, it's funny, I have a memory of it all of a sudden locking in. All of a sudden it worked. But I
Uh-huh.
played fast all the time. And I didn't sit with a metronome and go slower and then faster and faster and faster. I just played fast all the time because that's what I wanted to do. And eventually it just started to work.
Man, I mean, I'm blown away right right now. It's crazy. But that's exactly why I asked you in the beginning if it felt natural to you, because when I hear you, that's what I think, I mean, because of course, I mean, we know a lot of amazing guitar players. Everybody knows, a lot of great guys with a lot of great techniques and everything, but you're one of the guitar players that I can see that, I don't know, feels so natural when I hear you, but also when I see you playing, because of course, we're all nerds, right, in this business, right? And we're always, when I see, for instance, when I see your videos playing, I'm always watching your hands and I'm like, man, that's not, I mean, of course, the guy has practice, of course, because otherwise it would be impossible. But it's something, there's a there's something natural about it, and you can tell in the sound, in the way it sounds, your notes and everything, man. And I'm just blown away because there's some people who have that ability, but it's not a lot of people actually.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Yeah, 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 and it's
It
crazy.
does feel natural to me, and it did come naturally to me.
Uh
Which,
huh.
so I'm
Man,
lucky.
that's yeah, yeah, yeah. It's awesome, because of course, but also besides that, you have all the technique, all the, you can play as fast as you can, and it's very impressive. But you also have the feel as well. I mean, I can feel the heart in what
Yeah,
you do,
Thank you.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I can feel a little bit of Albert King in your playing as well. You know, some
What?
bands, a little bit of Albert King. You know, some right, some
Yeah, thank you.
those kinds of bands. You know, those bluesy bands. You know, like, and that's something that I really love about your playing as well. You know.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So besides, I mean, of course, you're a rocker. You were talking about AC/DC before Angus Young and everything. But besides rock and roll, is there any other kinds of music you like to play, or are you interested in terms of as a guitar player?
Um, I love flamenco, the music of your country. Um,
Nice.
I just, I wish beyond anything that I had learned to play flamenco.
Uh-huh.
It just blows me away. I mean, the tone, Paco de Lucia, of course, you know,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Amigo, you know, there's so many great, that sound, the power, it's so masculine, it's so powerful, it's
Yeah.
so, you know, it's just, I can't think of another word, but it's violent. It's like, it's like there's a violence to it that I love. You know, it's like when you watch a Guy Ritchie movie and people are kicking people's ass. It's like, yeah, you know, like flamenco's like that, but it's sexy and it's sophisticated, but violent. And it's like James Bond. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yes,
oh,
yes, yes, yes.
I mean, if I could do anything else, it would be to learn how to play like that. So that's the
Wow.
shit to me. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Well, we have one of our friends here at Vegatrem. He's an amazing flamenco player, but he also plays electric guitar. You know, he's actually German. I mean, he was born in Germany, but he lives here in Spain, and he's a very, very good flamenco player. You know, but he can shred as well. You know, on the electric guitar, which is it's incredible. I'm like, man, I don't know how you can do that. You know, because he can do both. You know, and it's
Oh,
pretty cool.
I need him
Yeah.
already. Uh,
Yeah, have you ever been to a flamenco show live, like a live flamenco show?
no, no, I've
Man, if
never.
you ever come to Spain, let me know because I'm gonna take you to pretty cool flamenco shows.
Yes,
And you're
yes,
you're gonna love it because it's not only, of course, the guitar, you know, we're especially interested in the guitar, but also the singing and the dancing. It's pretty powerful as well, you know? You're gonna love it, man.
yeah. I would love that, man. Thank you. If I come to Spain, I will definitely do that with you.
Yes, please, please,
That would
'cause
be awesome.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's awesome, man. Well, let me ask you another thing because of course when I hear you play, you know, I hear some influences, you know, as I said before, the maybe Albert King, maybe it's not Albert King, but blues influences, right? Or something like that. But also I hear some Eric Johnson as well, you know, and I hear some Van Halen as well. Would you say? I mean, which ones would be your main heroes? Like, if you had to choose five of them, just five of them, which ones would you say right now?
Goodness. Whoa. Um. Oh man, that's a tough one. Let's see. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Angus Young.
Okay.
You know, let's do Angus and Malcolm together. Let's make that one.
Oh, awesome! Yes, yes, yes. Cool, cool. The
So the
whole
young,
staff, right?
yeah, so that's one. The Young Brothers.
Okay.
And so the Young Brothers, and then of course the greatest Eddie Van Halen,
Okay.
um, Warren DeMartini,
Wow. Okay.
yeah,
Nice.
huge Warren DeMartini, um, Yngwie Malmsteen,
Okay.
and Eric
Awesome.
Jones.
Man, that's wow. That's pretty cool. That's pretty. That's great. So I didn't know. It's very very interesting because by the way you sound, the way you play, I would have never said that Ingvi is so important to you, but apparently he is, right? I mean, so did you spend a lot of time listening to him and maybe starting his playing and everything. Yeah.
Absolutely. I can't say enough good things about Yngwie. I think he's one of the greatest guitar players that ever lived. I think he's one of the most important guitar players that ever lived. I mean, I can't have great things about him. He's one of the greatest ever. The thing that I studied in guitar players that I loved 90% of the time was their feel. Okay. I wasn't one of these guys that had to learn the solos note for note. I was happy enough to get close, but what I loved was their timing. What I loved was their phrasing. I loved the way Warren DeMartini or Eddie Van Halen can change the tone of a note by the way he wiggled the string. I love the way Eddie Van Halen finished a lick. You know what I mean? Finished it. The way he would play a lick and then just the way he finished it. It just killed me.
Yeah.
His choice of harmonics, the way he'd bend a note and then bring it back down and then bring it back up. Those are the things that I loved. And with Yngwie, he had this violin vibrato.
Oh yeah.
And as much as he could shred, it sounded amazing. Yngwie could hold one note and it absolutely punched you right through the soul. You know what I mean? It's like, boom, like this, one note.
I couldn't agree more, man.
Taking that one note, and it's just like, oh my God. That was what I was. Yeah.
Because normally a lot of people, don't give him credit for the feel he has, because he has tons of feeling, when he plays. Because of course, he's the master of the shred guitar and everything. And some people think, this kind of players that, of course, they can play like him, and of course they trash him because of that, right? And they say he has no emotion, he has no feeling. And I disagree, man. The guy has a lot of feel, in what he does. It's incredible. And yeah, man. But I'm very interested on hearing you say that, because it's crazy. I mean, it's awesome.
I loved all the shredding too. It was all great, and I loved all of that. But it was his ferocity that I loved, and that I tried to copy. That really, I try to be as ferocious as possible. That's what I love. That's why I love flamenco. That's why I love, the guitar players that I love. There's a lot of ferocity. It has to be ferocious. I don't like weak guitar players. I don't like guys that, do fancy stuff and it just sounds just like that. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Like, Pete Townsend, when he goes, oh, like this, and he's looking at the audience like he wants to fight. It's like, yes, that's how you do it. That's what
That's awesome, man. Wow, you must be the most rock and roll guitar players I ever talked to in my life. It's crazy, man. I gotta jam with you one day, man. I would love to do that. I would love it. That would be awesome. That would be very, very, very nice. Very nice. Well, we're talking here at Vegatrem with the badass, like Doc. So let's talk about another badass, which is Edgar Winter, because you've been playing with him for a long time, right? Tell me about that gig, because that's amazing, man. He's just another force of nature, right?
He is. Yeah, I've been playing. I noticed that I saw the really amazing Instagram post that you guys put up, and you said been playing with Edgar for 11 years. It's actually 20 years I've been playing with him for 20.
There you go. Well, thanks for the correction.
Yeah. And I got the gig, it's just, he was looking for a guitar. He'd actually already hired a guitar player, a new guy, and a friend of his told him about me. And he took a chance on me. I was quite a bit younger than everybody else in the band. So, I was a lot younger than everybody else. And he wasn't really sure he wanted someone as young as I was at that time. I had spiky hair and big earrings and, and, but he took a chance on me and he took me under his wing and he educated me a lot. And I got to tour with a lot of great people. I got to tour with a lot of great players like Rick Derringer and those guys as well. And I learned a lot, and he really took me under his wing. And exposed me to a lot of music, explained a lot of things about music to me, exposed me to his brother, Johnny Winter, who I really didn't know much about, but my
Another
God,
badass. I
yeah,
mean,
oh yeah. I mean,
incredible, man.
if anyone out there's a blues guitar fan and you're not hip to Johnny Winter, you absolutely have to get Johnny Winter and any album. If you want to hear one of the truly great badass blues guitar players of all time,
Oh
you
yeah.
can't overlook Johnny Winter. So I got to be exposed to Johnny and all kinds of other cool things that Edgar. And then at the same time, Edgar is a classical music fan, and we'd be on long drives somewhere, and he
Uh-huh.
would make me sit down with him and listen to music for a long time. You know, Ravel and Rachmaninoff, and he'd make me sit there and listen.
Wow. So it was a must, right?
Yeah,
It wasn't just a suggestion, right? That
no,
you had to
yeah.
you had to be there, right?
He's like, "Come here, listen to this," and I go, "Well," and he go, "Come on, let's go." I'd put in the ears and I'd sit there for a long time and we'd listen together. And it was really important to him to expose me to music. And
So was that on the tour bus maybe or
yeah,
on
the
the
tour
road,
bus
right?
or in the van, yeah, a long drive. Like we got to drive for 4 hours somewhere, and
Uh-huh.
he'll have me, "Hey, Doug, listen to this," and okay. So yeah, he's amazing. It's been an amazing journey. I'm still playing with him. We just finished an album, which was a tribute to his brother. And it
Okay.
will be released in February. It came out great. It came
Awesome.
out great. I can't wait for everyone to hear this new album that Edgar did. It's fantastic. So we'll be touring with that pretty soon as well. So yeah.
Awesome, man. So I'm pretty sure. I mean, 20 years. That's a very very long time, and I'm pretty sure you've been playing in many different stages, right, throughout the whole world. So how's the experience? You know, being touring. You know, like is there a lot of difference from one gig to the other? Is the set list all the time the same? How is that?
Yeah, yeah. The set list has stayed pretty much the same over the years with changes here and there. I mean, I love to play.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm playing in a jazz room, you know, where people are having dinner, I'm happy. If I'm playing at Royal Albert Hall, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I play with a Japanese artist every year, and he's a huge star in Japan. And we play the stadiums and the arenas at Budokan, and it's sold out, and I'm happy. It's just like whatever. I'm like a kid. I show up to the gig, I walk up to the stage, and I see the two Marshall stacks there, and I'm
Yeah.
happy, I'm
Let's go.
excited. It's like this is great, you know. So it doesn't matter. It's like wherever I go, whatever the gig. Sometimes you're tired, okay? Sometimes you're tired, sometimes you're sick, and it's a drag, but most of the time it's all good. It all makes me happy. So
That's awesome, man. I mean, I can tell, and I'm pretty sure everybody can tell, you know, how happy you are because whenever you know, when you can deliver that kind of energy, the people get that energy back, you know, and that's why you're so good, you know.
thank you.
That's why it's not a matter of technique or chops or vocabulary. It's just like you said before, you know, like doing this in the chest of the people. You know, that's all, right?
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Thank
That's awesome, man. That's crazy. That's beautiful. Well, let's talk about gear a little bit as well, okay? Because I wanna. I'm under the impression that you work for a lot of not for but maybe with a lot of different brands, and it's maybe guitar brands or amp brands. So, like, for instance, what's your relationship with Friedman Amps? For instance, you've been using them for a long time, I guess, right?
you. Yeah, yeah. These kind of things where you have relationships with companies is being mutually beneficial. You know, I'm being from California. I've known Dave since, you know, since I was, I don't know, 19 years old. You know what I mean? I mean, I've known him forever. He's been a part of the LA scene forever.
Hmm.
Before he was building amps, he was sort of a rig builder guy, and he built one of my first rigs. I still have wires. I still have cables that he wired for me 25
Okay.
years ago. You know,
Wow.
I still have. I'm looking at one right now. I still, you know what I mean. So I've known Dave forever, and it's just one of those things where we just sort of agreed, not officially, but it's like I love his amps, he loves my playing, I think, and
I'm pretty sure he does.
yeah, so it's just one of those things where I just it just kind of fell into place, and I've known him forever. We're friends. I'm friends with Rob over at Tomrich, his partner, and so it's just I love his amps, and I'm happy to spread the word about him, and it's just a kind of a friendship thing, and mutually benefit. I help him, it helps me.
Uh-huh.
That's all it is, really.
Yeah, so normally that's what brands expect from an artist, right? When you, I mean, when like for instance, when a brand supports you and you support back that brand, right? And that's something like you said, mutually beneficial relationship, right? But I guess it has to be honest, right? Because I'm pretty sure you wouldn't be happy supporting a brand in which you don't believe, right? Like, for instance, if they give you an amp you don't really like, or a guitar that you're not very comfortable with, you wouldn't take it that far, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of tough. Like sometimes I get a product from somebody that I really like. That's happened to me before. I won't name names, but I really like the people, and but it doesn't work. The product doesn't really work for me,
Got
and
it.
it's tough to go. I love you. We're great friends, but I'm not going to use this. And I found everyone's been really cool about that overall. So that happens sometimes, but yeah, I won't get in a situation where I'm playing something that I don't like. So I won't do that. So I have to actually like it.
Yeah, especially because it would even compromise your playing and everything, right? And or your tone. And of course, I mean, you have to take care of that as a professional guitar player,
Yeah.
if, for instance, if you're gonna do a tour with Edgar, and you go with a tone that you don't really believe in,
Yes.
it's not gonna work out, right?
Exactly. Exactly. 100%.
Yeah. So okay, now that we're talking about this topic, tell me what did you think first time you tried the VT1, the Vegatrem? What did you think when you put it on your guitar?
When I put it on my guitar, I was worried at first because I have a pretty heavy right hand.
Okay.
Uh, I didn't know if it would hold up. I didn't know if I did palm muting, because the way it's designed to fit in the hole like that, I
Yeah.
thought, well, if I do palm muting, it's going to pull the bridge back and it's going to screw that up, or that was a concern. I was just like, oh, I don't know, is it stable or
Uh-huh.
whatever. So I put it on. I was really happy at how easy it was to install. That's just like, thank you.
Yeah.
Right? It just fits. It's like, oh, it's done. Yes. And it just came together really easily. You know what I mean? I popped the blade part in, and it just worked. It was like, oh, there we go,
Yeah.
done. And that's great. And then I just started playing, and I was like, it's very stable. And I could palm mute, and it didn't do anything. And I love the feel. It's got a gorgeous feel. It was like perfect. It was like, and my guitar stayed in tune. And I put it on a guitar that's not that great a guitar.
Okay.
And
Okay.
but man, yeah. So I mean, I was like, this is awesome. It's fantastic. So it's a winner. It's an absolute winner. I mean,
Cool, man. I'm
100%.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you're happy with it. And
Oh
it's an honor. It's a complete honor for us. Have you in one of your guitars. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
I'm really happy you reached out to me, man. I really appreciate it. I appreciate your faith in me. So thank you.
Yeah, man. I mean, as you know, the moment I started doing this, I was like, this guy's one of the first ones that I want to reach out to, because I mean, as I said, I really love your playing, and it's pretty cool. It's very nice having you on the family. Well, I'm gonna put some of your videos, because if there's someone here that doesn't know you yet, we're gonna fix that right away because they need to know about you. And it's, I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody knows about you already in this. But just in case, let me put this rock blues improvisation with the Friedman BE 100. That's what you're using, and then you're using a Nax guitar. Let's talk about those guitars later as well. Let me see if I can share my screen with all of you guys. Let me see. Okay, have it here. Perfect. So here we go. Man, that was smoking. Wow, that was incredible. That was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. See, that's why I was telling you earlier about the Albert King bands, because I was listening those bands that you do, like you go down and up again and then down, and you switch the pitch of the note, which is beautiful. I love that thing, and of course you have all the badass rock and roll playing, right? But at the same time you have some bluesy flavor, and that's where it hits the spot right here, for me at least.
Me too. Me too.
Right? Because yeah, and that tone just was out of this world, man. I mean, it's incredible. Tell me about those Nags guitars, because I've never tried one, and they seem like amazing guitars, right?
Yeah, I was playing. I've been a Les Paul player for a long time, and I had a a guy from New York who was sort of a sales guy, and he was like, "I'm going to get you to put down your Les Paul," and I said,
That's not gonna happen.
that's not going to happen. And he said, "Yeah, I will." And he would appeal to my ego and go, Gibson's not taking care of you, and they don't care about you, and you need to do it. And I was like, yeah. So he would send me guitars. He'd have guitar companies send me guitars, and I'd be like, no, and I'd send it back, and another one, no. And he sent me Nags one day, and I picked it up and I played it, and I went to put it back down and went, whoa, hold on a second. And then I plugged it in and I was playing. I was like, oh, hello. I got something here. So Nags is accompanied by Joe Nags, who was the custom shop designer at PRS Guitars.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So he built all those, he built all those really expensive, fancy PRS, their upper echelon guitars. And he left. That's why it kind of looks similar to a PRS, I think, because, well, he designed those. And I'll grab it real quick here. So, it's got that kind of
beautiful. Wow.
That's a beautiful guitar.
Oh, yeah.
This is the Doug Rappoport. They made a signature model, Doug Rappoport. So
nice.
This is the first one.
Of
this guitar. So I played it, and it's definitely the Gibson formula. In other words, it's the short scale.
Yeah.
Okay. Mahogany.
Yes.
Maple cap. Okay. It's got this really cool bridge.
I love that bridge. I think it's a very cool design. I love it.
It is. It's really cool.
It's just one piece, right? That you don't have to have 4 holes on the body, right?
Yeah, you do.
Oh, okay. Okay, I thought it was. Got it.
The actual bridge itself, the saddles here.
Oh, got it.
It's a normal Gibson saddle.
Got it.
But the bridge itself it's hard to see. But
but anyway, the tailpiece is very beautiful. I like it.
Yeah.
It's very nice. Really cool.
I think there's something about the transference, it has a unique sound that I really liked. And I describe, when people try to ask me to describe how it compares to a Les Paul, it's just a different resonance. There's a different mid-range.
Oh, really? Awesome.
Yeah, it's sort of like if you married an SG with a Les Paul.
Man, that's awesome.
That kind of mid-range honk to it.
But would you say it's like the PRS single cuts, because they don't quite sound the same as Les Paul, right? They have like a different flavor. Would you say that comes closer to that PRS single cut or not? Or it's something different?
No, it's closer to a Gibson.
Oh, it's closer to a Gibson. Got it.
It's close to the PRS single cuts. You have to remember they're still Strat scale. They're still 25.5-inch scale.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
That makes a big difference.
Yeah, it does.
People don't know that, but that extra 1.5 inches or whatever, it makes a difference.
Yes,
it really does.
Uh-huh.
So you're in the Gibson category with this guitar, but it has its own kind of beautiful mid-range. It's really, I remember when I played it, I was like, oh, I really like, it's not a Les Paul, but it is, but it's not, but it is. They're magnificent guitars. And if you were, looking for, if you like the kind of short scale Gibson type of vibe, then I don't think you get much better than this. These are just amazing guitars.
Man, it's a beautiful guitar for sure, and you can tell the craftsmanship is very, very high profile, I would say, right?
Yeah, they're basically pretty much handmade guitars.
Man,
terrific.
That's awesome. That's beautiful. Well, I want to ask you as well. Do you do a lot of studio work? Like, do you record for a lot of people on your place in your home, or not? Do you? I mean, when
I do.
Okay.
Oh, I wouldn't say I do a lot, but I do. It's getting harder and harder to do session work because people can do a lot in their own home studios now. Home studios are inexpensive, and editing tools are really, really good. And I do a lot of what you saw, like that Friedman demo. I do. Those are sessions. I get I get paid to do those, you know, so they are
Yeah.
sessions, you know, they just do video as well.
But
And
it's cool. But it's very cool because you, I mean, you're doing a session, but you're being yourself. You don't have to play in somebody else's song, right? It's like because I'm pretty sure you. I mean, you chose what you wanted to play, right? In that clip that we saw earlier, right?
yeah, yeah. What I do is people send me their gear and I play with it and I go, okay, this is how it sounds best.
Okay.
And then I will write a piece of music according to how I think will best show the equipment. And that's what I
All
do.
right.
And it's fun. It's fun to do.
That's awesome, man. Well, I know you love like a high gain amps and things like that, but do you ever use digital stuff as well, like modelers and like a fractal or the Kemper, things like that? How do you like those things?
Ooh, I like them okay.
Hmm.
Uh, I like them okay. They sound amazing. I toured for about 2 years with a Kemper.
Okay,
And the good thing was it's consistent.
it's
Uh,
reliable, right? It's more
it's
reliable than,
reliable, absolutely. And
huh?
front of house, they love it.
Of course.
And it sounds amazing in the PA. So it sounds really great. I've only ever had like real guitar players come to me after a show and goes, it doesn't sound quite right. But they're like, you know, really hardcore nerds, like you say.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I like them okay. They feel a little funny. You know, there's something I was talking to, not to name drop here, but I was talking to my friend Bumblefoot. And
Oh, okay.
he's uh, he's really smart and he's really hip to all this stuff. And he kind of describes perfectly. There's just something weird about the pick attack that doesn't sound natural, that affects my brain. You know, when I hit it, it messes me up when I play a little bit because it's just something not quite natural about it.
Uh-huh.
But they're getting better and better all the time. So, you know, I think I do own a Kemper. I do own a Fractal. I never use the Fractal. I rarely use the Kemper. And yeah, I mean, I like them okay.
Yeah, yeah, I understand. Well, here's the thing, and this is my opinion. I don't know if you're gonna agree with me, but whenever you're in a big band, like for instance, like if you're surrounded by another, I don't know, 8 musicians, maybe it's a good idea for the sound guy for the front of the house to use one of those things. But if you're a rock and roll trio, you need an amp. You still need an amp. I don't know if you agree with me on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I had this gig in Japan that I do every year.
Okay.
We didn't do it this year, obviously. But it's a huge gig, and it's, you know, arenas, and it's a big show.
Got it.
And I think in that, and where everyone's on in-ears, all the amps are off stage. There's nothing on stage.
Okay.
So I'm shipping over my 412, you know, my 412 over here, and a bunch of amps, and it's all somewhere else.
Okay.
Big box that you can't
Yeah,
really
yeah.
hear. And I was like, you know, why not? Maybe a Fractal or a Kemper would work great in that situation because there's nothing on stage anyway,
Yeah, that's right.
all in your in-ears. So
Hmm.
that kind of thing, I could totally, you know, I would definitely consider going that. And like you said, if it's a big show with tons of people, or if it was a television show, I'll definitely go with the Kemper. But yeah, if you're just doing a rock and roll show with just a rock band, you gotta have the live amps. Absolutely.
That's right. That's right. Well, another question regarding this matter. I know the sound guys in Spain because of the characteristics of the venues we play at here in Spain. Normally they give you a lot of shit. When you're too loud, right?
Yeah.
Does that happen to you in the States as well?
Oh yeah.
Really? Okay.
Absolutely. Since day one. Absolutely. You're too loud.
So how do you deal with that?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. You turn down and then you have a bad night and you blame the sound man. There's
Okay.
no way to do it, you know? I mean, like Rick Derringer, for example, he plays way too loud. Any of these old guys from the old days, they play way too loud.
Yeah.
They drive sound people crazy. You can. The good thing is you can get lower wattage amps and get that saturated sound, but then you're missing some of the bottom end. I mean, it's a lot of back and forth. So, but yes, to answer your question, yes, I still get people telling me to turn down, but I've actually gotten really good at getting good tones at a lower volume. So
Nice.
I can do that. And a lot of these modern amps, like the Friedmans especially, like great things about Friedman is you can play 100-watt amp in a low volume and it sounds killer.
Oh, really? Wow, that's awesome, man. Well, because they of course, I mean, it's not the 60s or the 70s anymore. So they know the problems the modern guitar player deals with, right? That's why.
Another thing you have to think about is and when you get older, you look like you're a real young guy, but when you get older like me, you start to go, well, maybe maybe I should think about how the whole sound is going to be. When I was younger, I was like, the guitar needs to dominate. Now it's like, maybe what would be best so that we all sound great. Maybe it's better that we all sound really great. So I'm more in that frame of mind now. So I don't mind turning down.
Yeah. Okay.
The sound guy will tell you, if you turn down, I'll put you in the mix.
That's right.
And that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
So it's good to learn how to play softer. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks for the young thing. I'm gonna have that in consideration. Thank you so much. No, but I also wanted to tell you this. I've seen Robin Ford live like 2 or 3 times in my life, and he's always extremely loud. I mean, he has amazing tone. Of course, I'm a big fan of Robin Ford, right? And he has this incredible tone, but he's always super loud. And I remember last time I saw him, I was feeling bad for the people right in front of his amp, because it was like they were getting nothing but guitar. It was like, but I mean, I think that's the only way he could get that amazing, beautiful tone. I don't know. Maybe if he uses some kind of amp, I don't know, but I mean, his tone is just unbelievable as well.
Yeah, I played in a band called Supersonic Blues Machine, and Robin Ford would come out and do gigs, and he'd sit in with us.
Awesome.
So I'd have him right next to me, and he would have like 2 twins or something, and yeah, really loud.
Right.
And I don't know that he could. It works though. It works for him. Eric Johnson, the same thing. He has 2 100-watt Marshalls.
Yes.
Loud. He won't use attenuators. And he won't use anything but 2 412s. And talk about being in front of those amps, it must be murder.
True. But you know what? As I also saw Eric Johnson in a very small venue in Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
And I mean, he was super loud as well, but somehow he made it work.
Yeah.
Maybe because the amps, when I saw him, he had those 2 full stacks, Marshalls, full stacks, but he had them tilted a little bit towards one corner of the stage. But he also had 2 deluxe reverbs for the clean tone, right?
Sure.
And yes, I agree with you. It was super loud, but at the same time, everything sounded amazing, And I don't know how they make it sound that way, man. It's incredible,
I don't know either.
Right?
I don't know. I guess when you become Eric Johnson, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I guess.
Sound man's gonna go, you need to turn down. I can't hear the drums. It's like, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, man, that's that. Well, I mean, if I was Eric Johnson's sound guy, I would have never told him anything.
Eric Johnson's sound guy is, or the guy who was his sound guy is Edgar, our tour manager and sound guy now.
Oh, okay, nice.
Sound guy for a long time. So I'm always asking him questions, but yeah.
Awesome. Have you ever met him?
Yeah, I did meet him once. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I met him once as well. He's, I mean, another one of my heroes. He's incredible. Very, very nice. Well, it's the time now for the discount code. Let me say the discount code for tonight. You guys can go to the website, to the Vegatrem website, and use it right now. So, guys, be ready. The code is DRM27. DRM27, all lower caps, and then 27 in numbers. I'm going to say it in Spanish as well. Voy a decir el código de descuento ahora mismo, que es DRM27, todo minúsculas. DRM27. There you go, guys. That's the code. So yeah, you guys can go to the website and get the discount. Well, I think I have no more questions. Thank you very much, Doc Rappoport, for being here. Is there anything anything else you want to say? Do you have any upcoming cool projects that you want to talk about?
Yeah, I just I recently joined a band called Black and Blue, and that came out of nowhere. It was really cool. They were a metal band in the '80s, and they were closely associated with bands like Kiss, and they had some success. They had some success. And I didn't really know about. I knew their name, but I never really heard their music. One of their big claim to fame is their founding member and lead guitar player was Tommy Thayer. So that's Tommy Thayer's old band.
Awesome! Wow.
Now Kiss, and so they called me, and I ended up joining the band, and I love their music. It's really great band. I can't believe I didn't hear them when I was a kid. I mean, they're really terrific songs. So I'm really excited. I'm really enjoying being in the band with those guys. And we just got back from the Kiss cruise, and you see my hat here.
Yeah. I see it. Yeah, I've been seeing.
So it was awesome.
You guys have been playing there?
Yeah. We played on the Kiss cruise, did a few shows, and it went great. Tommy Thayer came and sat in with us.
Awesome! Wow.
Old tunes, and so I'm in this band now called Black and Blue, and I hope we get to do more tours, and I hope we get to come to a town near you, and I'll be seeing you guys out there with Edgar. We'll be getting back on the road with Edgar, and it's great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Man, thanks for doing this. Thanks for being part of the Vegatrem family. We're very honored to have such a badass like you, like yourself. That's the best word, to talk about you. Badass. It's the a real rocker. That's something I really like about you as well, because you're a real rocker. There's no, how you say this? There's no. Oh man, I'm having a bad English day. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter. But I'll remember this word when we finish. But anyway, man, thank you very much. And for the people watching us, I left all the links to Doc's social media outlets. So you guys go ahead and follow him, because as I said, he's amazing, and it's very, very cool. Everything you play, everything you do, and we're gonna be on the lookout for your new band, Black and Blue. And let's hear whenever you release something with them. Please let us know, because we're gonna be happy to share it and happy to enjoy it, of course.
Thank you. That'd be terrific.
Yeah, man. So, and if you ever come to to southern Spain, please let me know. We're gonna have some wine, around here.
Also, I love jamon. I love the cured. Oh my God.
Okay.
It's the best. It's my favorite. I love it.
Okay, I'm gonna take you drink wine and eat jamon. No problem, man. In any corner around this town, you can get the best quality. It's amazing. So, yeah.
I remember when I went to Spain. I went to the airport, and they had ham hanging in the airport. I was like, oh,
no, but don't get that one, man. That one's just for the tourists. I'm gonna take you to the real ones. Yes. Please do so, man, because we're gonna have a blast. I'm pretty sure of it.
Awesome. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Doc Rappoport, everybody. That's amazing. Thank you very much. So, for all of you guys, see you next Thursday. Till then, be safe, be happy, and play a lot your guitar. See you.